Alrighty, so we have Malecki versus Josiane Nunes. I hope I'm pronouncing those names correctly. So Malecki has a 7-inch height advantage and a 7-inch reach advantage, I believe. It listed Josiane Nunes's reach as 67 inches on the UFC website. So yeah, I think. Anyway, it's going to be a massive size advantage, well, frame advantage for Malecki. Break down the striking of these two. So I think both come from Muay Thai backgrounds. Both have that Muay Thai style, quite flat-footed, come forward. Malecki, she has more of probably a credentialed Muay Thai background. She comes in with that forward pressure, push kick to the body, push kick to the face, body kicks facing a southpaw. That's what Josiane Nunes is, so I'm guessing she's going to be looking for that quite a bit. She's an 8-point striker, is Malecki. She'll throw elbows, she'll throw knees, she'll throw shins, she'll throw punches. Nice elbows, straight elbows when the opponent's close in distance. I think she got Macedo or who was it? Sultana? Sultana or whatever her name was. With that. But yeah, she has that classic Muay Thai style. She doesn't move her head too much. She uses that traditional Muay Thai strike and defense, which is just keep your hands up and your chin tucked, which can leave you quite vulnerable with 4-ounce gloves in MMA. But in women's MMA, it's not as devastating. It could potentially be devastating, but it's still something to think about. You're getting hit quite a bit, and that's the visuals that the judges are seeing. So yeah, it is what it is. She has hands too, so push jab, 1-2, straight right. I'd say a straight right's quite slow, quite slow on the extension and the retraction. And she will stay in boxing range when she finishes throwing her hands. So that can get her caught as well. And just parlay that with the fact that she doesn't move her head and just keeps her hands up, and that's kind of her defense. Is she gets hit quite a bit. But a lot of it is getting caught on the gloves, but that's not what the judges are seeing. Josiane Nunes, as I said, she's a southpaw. She swings with everything. I'd say she's more of a brawler. She likes to get in the pocket and just start swinging. She likes to blitz forward with a 3-2, 3 overhand. She does telegraph her burst quite a bit. She kind of leans into it, lets you know she's coming in. She likes the counter 2 when the opponent's being very aggressive against her. And she'll just get in the pocket. She'll just start swinging hooks. She literally has to jump into some of her offense when she has to lead, because she's so short for the weight class. So if the opponent's just kind of backing up and she's having trouble closing distance, she will literally just jump into her punches, because she's 5'2" at bantamweight. So yeah, I have no idea why she's at the weight class, but yeah. Not where they generally like the fight to be, but both these guys do have a bit of grappling, I guess. Malecki, she likes to be quite defensive with her grappling, likes to use strong hips to kind of reverse takedown attempts and then end up on top. Straight punches for ground and pound, just postures up, stands up in guard pretty much and just throws her long arms down. And for Josiane Nunes, she will jump guillotine quite a bit. I've noticed that with her. Isn't the greatest thing to do in MMA, especially when you're not like Brian Ortega or whatever. So Malecki, she does accept bottom position quite easily in scrambles, so that's another bad tendency of Malecki's. And yeah, so I'd probably expect this fight to be mostly on the feet, but I wouldn't be surprised at a bit of clinching, a bit of grappling, just kind of, wills itself into this fight. How these guys win fights. So for Nunes, she has decent power in her left hand, in respect to the weight class. How these guys lose fights. So for Nunes, she has subpar takedown defense and subpar get-ups, and she's dreadfully undersized for the weight class. Malecki, it's the striking tendencies we talked about before, just the strike and defense kind of thing, Pass to victory. So for Nunes, get on the front foot, get in the pocket and start ripping the body. Malecki has that high guard. It's not something that generally Josiane does, but I think it's open all day under that high guard of Malecki and that long torso of Malecki. For Malecki, make it technical. Body kicks, high kicks. High kicks especially because of her height. Straight knees in close when she's closing the distance. You can get your knee up to her head quite easily. Muay Thai plum clinch, break the posture, throw knees to the head. But yeah, make it technical, don't brawl. How I see the fight going? So one of the smallest bantamweights versus one of the tallest. I have no idea why Nunes is fighting at bantamweight. She's giving up a 7-inch height and reach advantage here. Nunes is roughly the same size as Jessica Andrade. So when Jessica Andrade didn't have a chance, well, the strawweight division didn't exist, she fought at 135. So if you remember how small and undersized Jessica Andrade was at 135, then you have a good idea what Nunes is going to look like at the weight class. Both these guys have Muay Thai backgrounds, but I'm not expecting some kind of super high level kickboxing match. I think it's going to be quite sloppy on the feet, but probably pretty fun to watch for the fans. Both these guys are aggressive, both like to put damage on their opponents, so I think it's going to be a fun fight, but you know, I'm not expecting some chess match out there. Nunes definitely does throw harder, but I think Malecki throws a bit more and mixes it up a lot more. It's likely going to decision, and I just think Malecki's kind of going to outwork her at the end of the day. She's super green in her career though, so I wouldn't trust her too much, but she's likely made a lot of improvements, you know, since we last saw her. What is she, like 3-0? Quite young in her career, so she's probably going to look a lot more improved. She's been out 17 months, so hopefully she's making improvements in that time period. But yeah, she's definitely there to be hit. You know, on tape you can see she's there to be hit. I'm not saying she has bad strike and defense. I'm just saying you know where her head's going to be, and it's not going to move, and she's likely going to come forward. So she's there to be hit. And I'm not saying she's bad strike and defense. I'm just saying it's bad visuals for the judges. Because Nunes is going to be landing a lot on the gloves. You know, she's still going to be getting points with that. I just don't have a great read on Malecki. I think, she hasn't had too many fights, really. Watched her tough fights as well. Still don't have a great read. It seems like her last two opponents in the UFC kind of just beat themselves with just silliness. Like, what's her name? Macedo just kind of gassed, and then Saldana, I'm pretty sure she just like was beating Malecki and then made like one mistake, went for like a hip toss or something. I can't remember actually, but she made one mistake on the mat and Malecki took her back. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, it's like she wasn't really winning those fights. Like, she was losing the Macedo one until Macedo just completely gassed out. So yeah, it's more of the opponent beating themselves instead of Malecki earning the win, I would say. You know, obviously that's fine if you win by attrition, but it's not something you want to rely on, because a lot of people will be well conditioned in this weight class and they're not just going to gas out, or they're not going to make some silly mistake. So it's not really something you want to rely on. You want to mostly rely on your skills. But my read on Josiane Nunes might be even worse. So yeah, I think you just have to be a complete masochist to consider betting this fight. I'm probably not going to bet it. It depends what the line is. The line isn't out yet, so, you know, I'll have a think when the lines come out, but at the moment, nah. Hey, so if you guys could like the video, that'd be awesome. You know, it helps the channel get pushed and all that kind of stuff. So, the prediction is Malecki by decision, but really, I have no idea. But, you know, really, I think Malecki should win. You know, just, yeah, use her length. Yeah, really. I forgot what the breakdown was, actually. I recorded the breakdown like 2 months ago. So I forgot what I actually said, but I've got down here Malecki should win. I think she should win around 65% of the time. So, you know, theoretically there is value on the money line at the moment, but I don't really want to bet this fight. You know, two very green fighters, not a lot of tape on Nunes. Malecki isn't great, but she does have a stupid reach advantage in this one. So yeah, if I was to bet anything, it might be Malecki at like evens, but it doesn't look like it's going there. Yeah, I don't really want to bet this fight.